This video is brought to you by Law Excellence IAS Academy.
Dear students, good morning. Welcome to DEEP, Daily Editorial Enrichment Program of Law Excellence R&D. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 13th July 2019. The first article for discussion, a case of confused thinking. This is about National Education Policy 2019, which was given by the panel headed by Mr. Kasturi Rangan. What this article emphasizes is there are many conflicting views and opinions with regard to National Education Policy 2019. The first is they have overemphasized on the skills. They concluded everything and every aspect that is tangible and intangible, quantifiable and non quantifiable as a skill. Let me put an example over here. Moral thinking, moral reasoning, critical thinking, all these are counted as the skills. And evidence based learning, scientific temper, rational thinking, they are also being counted as the skills. It means an abstract thinking or abstract subject called moral reasoning, how can it become a skill? That is one question. And the second thing is, there is no logic when they stated that the children have to be made to learn three languages at the age of 3 years, and they also need to be taught with reading and then writing and then textbook reading at the ages 3, 6, and 9 years. So, on one side, they are blaming preschool education in the private sector, and on the other side, whatever the burden which is created on the preschool private sector is also imposed in the same policy. So, one way it is a burden, on the other way it is being suggested by the report. And the third thing is the socio-political life of India, which is democratic values imbibed through certain value-based education, is totally neglected and it is not a priority area. So democratic thinking, democratic way of life is neglected. It means the report and the policy is more based on inculcating certain aspects of livelihood rather than making the children to prepare for the greater world, greater thinking. So roots of India, Indian society, Indian political system could have been added a greater weightage. That is the essence of this. The next article is Game of Chicken That Can End in Disaster. This is about USA and Iran issue. You know that Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which is also other way called as Iran Nuclear Deal, it has come into existence when Obama was the President of United States of America. And it has come between US and then China, Russia, European Union as partners. In this case, the enrichment of the Iran has to be limited and it is to 3.67 percentage, and total stockpile has to be maintained at 300 kgs. Now, Mr. Trump believes that a liberal offer is being given to Iran, and Mr. Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of the State, what he demands is zero enrichment. And the next is no stockpile at all, and then no missiles have to be developed, no warhead carrying missiles have to be developed by the Iran. Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi rebels, Hamas in the case of Palestine, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthi rebels in the case of Yemen, all these are under the control of Iran, or they are getting certain support from Iran. So Iran has to stop any kind of support to these people. In this case, Iran is also going for tit for tat measures. What does that mean? So recently Iran has warned the world that if European Union do not come to its rescue with regard to the lifting of economic sanctions, it will again go back for the enrichment. Yes, it has started the enrichment and breached 3.67% of enrichment target. And it also increased its stockpile over 300 kgs of uranium. And third is, it has warned that there will be dire consequences in the Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, that carries more than one third of the oil imports to the world can be blocked. So what are the repercussions to India? Once these tensions escalate, oil prices are expected to go up, which is going to cripple Indian economy. The next, aftershocks in Goa. Remember, a party wins the elections based on or centered around ideology. So in that case, if an MP moves from Congress to BJP, it means that he is shedding his ideology and taking up a new ideology. So, in India, more and more politics are becoming transactional. People are entering into political parties to convert their economic power into political power. So, either it is Congress or BJP, both of them hold the business people today as MLAs and MPs. So, because of this, making the politics transactional has many untoward consequences to democracy. So, defection has become more a norm rather than an exception. If you take anti defection law, there is one exception which was given in it. That is, if two-thirds people defect and join another political party, then it will not be considered as a defection, it will be considered as a merger. In Goa, Congress party was the single largest party and it got 17 seats out of 40. And BJP got 13 out of 40. Today, Congress size is reduced to 5 and BJP size increased to 27. And most of the people from Congress shifted their sides and joined BJP. This clearly shows that the anti defection law was able to reduce individual defections and made the mass defections possible. So, that is the criticism of the anti defection law. Second is the political opportunism is shown by the BJP over here. A person elected on another ideology being pushed or pulled into BJP is not a right trend. Death by digital exclusion. If you take poor people, their livelihood or life hinges on certain factors. Most important this is welfare measures given by the government. These welfare measures are in the form of PDS. So in this context, this PDS today is connected to something called Jam Trinity, which is also related to cash transfers. So today biometric authentication has become a norm. As we go to the field level, many a times these networks are not proper, our machines are not working, and paper-based ration cards have been removed. Any kind of digital malfunction is bringing in digital exclusion and a death knell to these poor people. That is what is the essence of this article. So my take home point is this: digital era shall build bridges but shall not widen the divides. As you make the digital divide widened, the worst sufferers of this will be the poor people. That is what we need to remember. And second, digital technology has to empower the people. But however, lack of digital literacy, lack of digital connectivity today in India is actually disempowering the people. So the digital divides are becoming developmental divides, rural urban divides, gender divides, democratic divides, etc. These are the points, remember. Next is ISRO's lunar touchdown has dry run on soil fetched from Tamil Nadu. So to test the ground realities of the moon, so there is a test facility constituted. So this test facility is called as the prototype or lunar terrain test facility, LTTF. So for this, the soil is been fetched from a village near Salem, Tamil Nadu. So second thing is what it consists of, that is what is the most important. Then orbiter, and then we have lander, and then a rover. Rover is kind of a vehicle which moves on the surface of the moon. Lander is one which places the rover on the moon. Orbiter, it encircles the moon. It's a kind of a satellite. So in this case, the lander is called Vikram in the name of Vikram Sarabhai. And then a rover, it is called as Pragyam. So the rover's name is Pragyam. This is what we need to remember. Turkey defies USS as S-400 arrives. S-400 is an anti-missile defense system. It is developed by Russia. So across the world there is a huge demand. One is it is cheap. The second is it is counter to United States of America Patriot missiles. The Patriot missiles of USA are very expensive, and as these are cheap, the bargaining power need to be increased with USA to reduce the price of Patriot missiles. That is the reason why many countries are importing it. These are fast and quickly deployable. You can deploy them within 5 minutes. So India is also importing the same. So America wants to address this because the demand for its weapons is going to come down. So that's why it has enacted an act called as CASA, countering American adversaries through Sanctions Act. Any country who is importing this is subjected to certain sanctions. Now, Turkey, which is a NATO member, has actually imported it. And America says that S-400 missile system is not compatible with the American hardware, so it cannot be fit into the NATO system. So let us see what actions will America take on this. US will consider 301 probe on India, says trade official. You know, as per US Trade Act, there is provision 301. In this, if any country imposes any tariffs on US products, it is subjected to action, retaliatory action by United States of America under 301. So the 301 is to protect US goods and services from certain tariffs by other countries. So India will be investigated under this 301 provision. That's what is the warning it has been given. So finally, thank you. Have a great day. All the best.